In Section 140 of the bill, we are moving the date in which the unitary tax is going to be calculated. Through you, Mr. Speaker, are we now moving it to the beginning of 2016? Is that correct? Through you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Berger.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, the date in the bill is January 1 of 2016.
Representative Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And we certainly applaud the idea that, thank God, our businesses don't have to pay this retroactive tax, I guess, at this point. I think we can all agree that that's probably a good idea. But let's be mistaken here. We are still putting in that unitary tax, and we're doing it in 2016. At least giving them a heads up. Unfortunately, I think it might be a heads up of you got 12 more months, or in this case, 6 more months to figure out where you're going to move, because that's what they keep telling us they're going to do. So we're not saying, oh, give us the money back till January, but we are saying at least you got 6 more months to start planning. That's what we're doing here today. And we have to be very careful with the way that we address what we're doing in this implementer. I've seen repeatedly in the press and the media that we're rolling back these taxes that were put on businesses were put on them erroneously, or we didn't know what we were doing and we shouldn't have done that. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not tax reductions. These are taxes that clearly should have never even been imposed. And they were imposed in the darkness of night, quite literally. We brought it out at 5:45 in the morning. And we did it without any input from any of our business leaders across the state. And we did so because we thought we knew better. And thank God our constituents were able to reach out to so many of us in this chamber and our chamber upstairs and say, you don't know better. This is a terrible idea. The state of Connecticut's going to go down if we continue to keep passing all these tax increases. So let's not go around and say to everyone, hey, we rolled them back. It's great. Because we still have over $1 billion in tax increases that we were promised just a few short months ago would not exist. We were promised in my next term by the governor, I will not have tax increases because a deficit doesn't exist. Well, in this document, we're trying to close a deficit. We're trying to set ourselves up for tax increases over $1 billion. And they're not just on businesses. These are tax increases that are affecting every single one of our families in our district. And not a single thing in this document addresses any of those taxes that are affecting every single one of our middle-class families in our districts back at home. I have heard repeatedly from my constituents that how this budget affects me personally. Not just the business that I work for, but me personally. It makes me want to think about moving out of the state of Connecticut. And I don't think that's the message that we want to be sending to our constituents. I know I certainly want to be sending the message, please stay here, please open your business here, please hire more people here, but I'm not sure we're doing that today. And it's quite scary because we've had 3 weeks. We've had 3 weeks to come together, develop a plan, make sure that we can come back and do it. Email after email, call after call, saying, guys, go back into special session and fix this mess that you passed. But we're not doing that. We're reducing state spending by 1/10 of 1% in this implementer. We're repeatedly being told over and over again that the state spends too much and it taxes too much. We've had the opportunity to fix this, yet we're only reducing state spending by 1/10 of 1% from the budget that we just passed 3 weeks ago. Is that really what we should be doing here tonight? Is that really what our constituents expected us to do when we came back in special session? I don't think so. I mean, the message has been quite clear. The problem is that we are not spending too little. The problem is not that we are taxing too little. The problem is that we're spending too much, and we need to constantly go back to the same well over and over and over again to find more tax revenue in order to feed the machine of state government here in the state of Connecticut. I certainly hope that we will not be back here in a few short months trying to balance a deficit that we are creating here today by all of these tax increases because the projections are rosy. The idea that the economy is growing here in Connecticut is rosy. I certainly hope it's true. I hope we come back here and we have a surplus because that would mean things are going better. But I'm not quite sure that that's going to happen because of the things that we're doing right here in this bill here this evening. So I would encourage my friends in this chamber to oppose this implementer because it's not setting us on the right course. It's not doing what our constituents have repeatedly asked us to do in these last 3 weeks when we came back here. Save my job, save my company, save my way of doing business and living life here in the state of Connecticut. We're not doing it here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're just not doing it. I suggest that you oppose this here tonight. Thank you.